Welcome to the Bad News Beers podcast. This is a podcast that we're starting. This is episode 1. My name is Max Fanning. I'm a freshman at Boise State University. I'm studying English, and I'm here with my co-host Jake Walden. Jake, say hello.
Hello, I'm Jake Walden. I am also a freshman at Boise State University, and I believe I'm going into radiology, but I'm not too sure because college is scary.
College is scary. You know what's even scarier than college?
What?
The future.
You're right.
You know what's after college?
No?
The future.
Damn.
That's scary as hell.
That might be another podcast.
Future podcast. Future topics about future for future podcasts.
A whole lot of future, a whole lot of nonsense.
So we've done a couple of test recordings of this. Unfortunately, you guys will never hear those because they both are incredibly explicit and frankly not very succinct. We wanted to try and redo it, sophisticate it a little bit, and talk about real things in life, real things we're interested in, and hopefully real things you guys are interested in. So Jake's going to start us off here with a story that he found that he's incredibly interested in, and we'll talk about it, discuss it. I'll have my reactions, and then I'll bring the world into sports because we all love sports. We like sports, and we don't care who knows. Shout out to SNL, and we'll maybe discuss a little philosophy, get a little intimate, and see where it goes.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Also today, first time it's been a great day outside.
It has. No, this is
has
true.
been cloudy, rainy, snowy, cold, mainly bitter cold with wind chills, and it's not fun. But it's been nice today.
It was really nice today. The weather was really nice, which is interesting because I was talking to another resident on our floor, Nichelle Robbins. Shout out to Nichelle. We didn't have a great day. There was a lot of stuff that happened today. A lot of unforeseen things, unfortunately, it appears that Jake's alternator in his FJ's gone out.
I got EMP'd.
His car, the electrics in his car really died, and that was quite a struggle. Not a whole lot got achieved today, and maybe that's why we're recording now, maybe that's not, but just glad to bring, the current events and the average life of a college student out to you guys, out to the viewers. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are college students yourselves. Maybe you're looking to be inspired. Maybe you're looking to see that the rest of us are just as weird as you. I don't know. But we're glad you're here, and we're going to get things rolling.
Heck yeah. We are coming live from Boise, Idaho, and mountain time it is 11:37 p.m. on January 25th, 2019. And so today, crazy story. We're taking it all the way to the other side of the globe. Yes, flat earthers, you heard it. The globe, it's a fact. China, young kid, not making good decisions as young kids do, Like you don't want to listen to your parents, and so you say no, and you run off and you sell a kidney. No,
Sell a kidney?
Wang Shangquin did that.
Okay.
Wang Shangquin, let me tell you a little backstory about this kid. He's a Chinese teen. He lived in the Anyi province of eastern China. Okay, 17-year-old kid in China, kind of confused, normal family life for the most part, probably broke, just basing off of average life in the world, especially in China. He found his way onto the black market. And Wang was a very curious kid, found himself in a group message with a gang, and they wanted to harvest some human organs. And that's a big deal in China. Human organs are big. 1.5 million people in China are in need of an organ transplant every single year.
Wow, that's quite a lot.
That's a lot of people, and here's the scary part about it. China had a very large reputation in the early 2000s, like up to 2010 area, for their main source of organ transplants coming from the prisoners in their prisons.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
They were just sourcing the prisoners for organ transplants.
Yeah, and to put that figure into perspective for you guys, 1.5 million people, that's about 6 times as many people that live in mainland Boise, Idaho, here where we are. So think about it that way. If you're from the local area, 6 times the number of people. So that's pretty crazy.
They need organs.
They need organs.
Mm-hmm. All of them. That's just crazy. But yeah, all the organs were getting skyrocketed, especially years 2013 to 2014, making it go from 23% to 80% increased.
Wow.
From 2013 to 2014. And I found a site after site after site online doing research on this and how China was fixing their problems and whatnot, and there was so many sites talking about all the problems and how they were sourcing their organs being faulty and wrong. But luckily, 2015, China eliminated all the prisoner usage, and organs come from people who died in intensive care units and hospitals. So they're kind of
Oh, cool. So they're catching up with the times, catching
Yeah.
up with the rest of the Western world. You know, we have cadavers, we have organ donors. You know, if you got that little heart on your license, that means that when you die, they're gonna strip what's good and burn the rest. Not necessarily, but that's what they're gonna do with me. So
yeah, I'm a donor.
yeah, I'm a donor. Go be a donor. Sign up to be a donor.
Gotta love the people. Anyways, yeah, Wang Shengquin. He was super broke and he was super eager for the brand new hot Apple tech. Yes, he was making the headlines in the news in China. He was on the Huffington Post, and a lot of things just blew up like 3 weeks ago about this topic. And he was basically just an eager kid who wanted technology so bad he sold his own kidney. Little weird, little freaky, thinking about how just any kid can get on the black market and just converse with people who are associated with gangs harvesting organs.
Oh, 100%. You know, a lot of people don't think about this because it's not in our face reality, but there's so many dangerous, crazy things you can find in the deep web and in the dark. You know, you just got to go through a server. I don't know what that server is personally, but you know, if you were interested in it, you could definitely do some digging and get linked up with the wrong people and do some pretty shady, dangerous shit. So
Yeah. And for those who don't know as well, black market, just like Max said, to be a little explicit, guys, bad place. There's drugs, sex trafficking, gangs, murders, serial killers, slaves, bad people that you can find on the black market. And it's a really big drug hustle. So for a kid just to be on here, a little scary. But yeah, saw an ad on the black market that could be sold for 22,000 yen. And that's like $3,350 in US dollars.
okay, so about $3,400. You know, that's about what I made over the summer as a lifeguard. So I don't know what the hell this kid's thinking about.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, what goes through your head so bad? Like, instead of work, or like, donate cans and pick up recycling off the streets, you know, it's crazy.
Desperate times.
But he made the deal with the gang. So the black market gang then made a deal with a local military hospital surgeon to perform the surgery on Wang, offering to pay him money or whatever they were going to exchange to the surgeon to get this done. They headed north to the city of Shenzhou in the Hunan province, sorry. And yeah, just like that, 17-year-old kid, no parents' signature, no waivers, nothing. Completely illegal surgery. Just happens. Cuts his kidney out, guy gets the money. Yeah, just like that. Kid goes back, super excited, got his brand new iPhone 4 and iPad 2. That was the newest, best, hottest, craziest things ever. And then came back from surgery with this super nasty scar. And his mom later saw the scar and immediately called the police because the kid said, yeah, I sold my kidney to buy it. That's how I got the money.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Little crazy. Suspects then, or the police got some suspects, the gang who was affiliated with everything. I'm sure the kid confessed there wasn't too much detail on it, and I searched everywhere for it. Took them into trial. Unfortunately, Wang suffered such serious injuries that he was bedridden for days at a time and wasn't able to make the trial. So, without Wang in presence, whatever was said in trial is to that group of people in the room, but probably a little shaky. Probably some mixed-up stories. I don't know. If you're on the black market selling human body parts from young, underage children, you're probably not going to have too great of a time.
Oh, no, not at all. You know, I mean, especially with the written or the verbal confession of this kid, you know, you basically, if you're those black market guys, if you're those guys that are just chilling there who decided to make this deal, you know, and I say guys not to be sexist or anything, guys is a gender neutral term. If you're these people, you know, you really don't have an alibi, you don't have a backup, you know, maybe you've got, I mean, it seems like they got connections, they got money, so maybe you were able to hire a lawyer, kind of get you out of the deep shit, but I really don't see this going in favor of the guys who did the wrongdoing, so it's a really tough situation.
Yeah.
So they go to trial.
Yeah.
But the kid's bedridden because of injuries and infections, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next?
Oh, so April 2012, 9 people were charged in trial, including the surgeon. But 2 of them were released for having very minor roles, quote unquote.
Sure.
So, the Xinhua news agency said one of the defendants received 220,000 yen, which is $3,500, to arrange a transaction. Wong now suffers from renal failure. Renal failure is gross. You know what renal failure is?
Give us some information.
For you who don't know what renal failure is, you don't want it. If the doctor says you have it, or if the doctor said I had it, I'd probably go jump into a shark-infested ocean.
Okay.
Doesn't sound fun. It often causes your hands and feet swelling. You feel tired, you're weak, your body needs to clean your blood function properly. Untreated uremia may lead to seizures or coma, will ultimately result in death. So no matter
it's
what,
terminal illness.
it's terminal. You're
Okay.
done. You're donezo. And this is all on your kidneys. So if your kidneys stop working completely, you will need to undergo dialysis or kidney transplantation. Wong only has 1 kidney.
Okay.
His last kidney has renal failure.
Oh no.
That's why this was so controversial, because he is a kid who's just like, yeah, I don't need a kidney. I have 1. It's fine. You only need 1. And then he got renal failure because of the surgery.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. Not fun. Not fun. But yeah, so the ringleader of this gang, his name was Hu Wei, he served 5 years in jail and was described as a penniless and stressed over some gambling debts. That's why he was selling off the black market.
Sure.
He was a gambler, as they do. They make their money, they go, they live fast. And yeah, the surgeon, Song Jung-yu, 3-year sentence, and he has a reprieve of 5 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that was kind of just for, I guess, only that amount of time. I don't know if I would agree with that. Just only 5 years for like harvesting an underage kid's kidney, but that's just me.
And it's also something important to note too. This is the judicial system in China. It's not like this guy was tried on the international level, which I believe, from what I've studied, the international court replicates what we installed in Western society. It's pretty close. If this were to happen in the United States, I would guess the sentences would be at least doubled. At least.
Probably. Yeah, around 10 years. That sounds about right.
So it's you know, it's different cultures, and it's interesting to think about, interesting to study. What else do you got? Are you done?
So, super crazy thing. Not quite done. Getting pretty close though. Wang Shangquin's mom did not want to believe that he willingly sold his kidney
Sure.
to a gang for this tech. She didn't want to be seen as that mother. Obviously, that's dishonorable, especially having like your kid be that kid who sold his kidney and then died because he sold his kidney on the black market. That was bad for the family. It looks bad on everybody. There's actually a direct comment from the reporters, and she said, in translation, "My son was tempted by the illegal organ traders and might have been afraid of getting caught with such large amount of money, so he bought a cell phone and a tablet.
So she's okay. So she was trying to save face. It seems like.
She was trying to say, no, he was a victim. He was like kind of drawn in and scared, so he just bought a tablet.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, I don't know. That seems a little weird. That's kind of where the story ends, but really intriguing comment section
Oh.
on these pages.
We're moving to the
These
comment
are
section.
fun. People on the internet are some of my favorite people ever, because they gotta let you know things that you already know, but they want you to know that they know.
Sure.
Absolutely. So, this was just on one of the websites I found, and a guy by the user, or girl, by the username Blazerthon. 6 years ago, when this all kind of happened, once again in 2012. Actually, wait, 2012.
7 years ago.
Huh?
7 years ago.
7 years ago. God damn, time's going by fast. 6 years ago commented. 7 years ago.
About 6 years ago.
Yeah. He commented, "Someone took some organ jokes too seriously. Everyone knows that you're actually supposed to sell an arm and a leg." And then, leading off that, a comment from a username Aeonion, I don't know how to say it. Super weird. Saying, "Why didn't he just sell his Wang?" Oh wait, because it's a play on words to the English language, because Wang is spelled W-A-N-G. But no. My man Blazerthon, all right, didn't like this response. He didn't like that he just kind of commented on his thing and saying just sell his Wang. But he took it so seriously. And he says, so why didn't he just sell his Wang? Oh, wait. Blazerthon replies, I think that, talking about the man's genitalia, I think that is more important than a kidney, especially for a teenager going through puberty and adulthood within the next few years. Absolute fucking genius. This guy.
Man, Blazerthon's out here
Blazerthon,
supporting the boys.
absolute genius. Who would have thought of that?
Supporting the boys.
Who would have thought that would have been more important? Wow, genius. But further down in the comments page, House70, little upset. Said, all jokes aside, every kidney donor has to pass tests to prove that his remaining kidney is up to the task. That is assuming the donation is legit and approved by the Transplant Commission. That includes, among others, psychiatrists. In this case, and yeah, super smart. Super smart. But yeah, that's about it. Love people on the internet. Love the story. Love China. It's great.
Love China.
Go China.
Go China. Team China.
Team China.
Okay. So this is going to be kind of the question of the podcast. I'm going to pose it to you guys. Maybe post your responses in the comments. Also, we will link in the description of this video podcast. It's not a video podcast, it's an audio podcast, but it's going to be supported by YouTube. Thank you, YouTube.
Go YouTube.
A link to the article so you guys can check it out and you guys can figure out maybe your take on it. If you post a video response or something, we'd love to see them. Maybe you get your name shouted out in the next podcast, stuff like that.
That could be exciting.
But I guess the question I pose to you, Jake, is this a problem? You know, it is black market, but this kid is operating under his own free will. This kid made his own choice with his own body. I mean, granted, he's 17 years old. In most societies, he would not be legally considered an adult yet. But do we have a black market problem in this world?
I think we do.
You think we do? Okay.
I think we do, and I think it goes right under our noses so well.
Okay.
And I think it's one of those things like out of sight, out of mind.
Sure.
But I do think there is a black market.
There is a black market problem.
Maybe like not here, maybe in other countries, maybe only here. I don't know.
It's just out there.
It's out there.
There's evil out there
I mean,
that
there's stories on it.
we can't control because it's not documented.
Exactly.
Interesting. All right. Well, that was the story. So moving on now, we're going to move into sports.
Woo! Go Broncos. By the
Go
way.
sports.
Go sports.
Go
Do
Broncos.
sports well.
Rip the Broncos. Rip the football team.
Rip a Chino.
Yeah, played 7 minutes of their bowl game. It was on the day after Christmas, on the 26th of December. Unfortunately, ended due to lightning.
Scary stuff.
There was 43 bowl games played during bowl game season. The Broncos and Boston College were the only bowl game to be canceled. It's the only one.
Love you, Brett Rippon.
Let's hope you go do good things. But we're going to move it a little higher scale. We're going to talk about a very controversial championship weekend. We're going to start things off with the NFC. It's the LA Rams visiting the New Orleans Saints.
Ooh.
Great game. A lot of people picked the Saints to win, especially as they were the home field. You know, Drew Brees has never lost at home in the playoffs. He was 6-0 at the time. That's a pretty good thing to stand on for sure.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Unfortunately, due to a incredibly controversial call, or rather no call, against Nickelback Robbie Coleman of the Rams, who seems to be, and this is what I saw, and this is what everyone else seemed to see, blatant defensive pass interference, didn't attempt to go for the ball, completely laid out Michael Thomas, the wide receiver,
Absolutely.
and there was a no call. Now,
It's upsetting.
it's because of this no call that it put the Saints in a position where instead of continuing their drive, they had to kick a field goal. I believe it was a third down play. I'm pretty sure. I didn't fact check. I'm just going off memory. Watch the game. And because of this, it changed the tide of the game. The game ended up going to overtime, in which case the Rams won on a 57-yarder field goal. Now, congrats to the kicker, because this was, I believe, his longest field goal ever in his career. Greg Zuerlein, the kicker. And I'm pretty sure it was his longest field goal ever, and it was quite immaculate. It was really quite quite a just drill down the pipe. Great for the brand. If you know Pat McAfee, you know what that means. But it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to see the home team lose. It's unfortunate to see old man Drew Brees recently turned 40 years old. He's definitely nearing the end of his career. Doesn't seem like he's lost a step, but quarterbacks, once they hit that mark, they tend to lose a few steps. So controversy in the calling for sure. But you know which quarterback who after the age 40 didn't lose a step?
Who?
Tom Brady. We are not Patriots fans. I'm going to preface this.
We are not.
We are not Patriots fans. But we're going to move over to the AFC game. So the New England Patriots were visiting the Kansas City Chiefs. Temperature at game time was 13 degrees.
Ooh, a little chilly out there.
And there was wind chill.
Does not sound fun for the fans up in the stands.
But it was fun for the fans in the stands. See, the Kansas City Chiefs have a phenomenal fan base. They, along with the Seattle Seahawks fan base, the 12th man up in CenturyLink in Seattle, Washington, have been going back and forth for the loudest stadium to play in, which inherently, when you're on the road, makes it incredibly difficult to call plays and to execute plays very, very well, which causes a lot of false start penalties, a lot of drawing off sides, things like that, that will in turn make it a little difficult for them to operate under those conditions. The weather didn't seem to make the Kansas City Chief fans lose a step. They really just seemed they were in it, they were there.
That's awesome.
But once again, controversy.
So much of it.
Controversy strikes again when defensive end Dee Ford, I actually believe is edge rusher.
Ooh.
The edge rusher position, for those who don't know, those who don't follow football, is a newer position. It's only been around about 5 years. It was essentially the combination of a defensive end and an outside linebacker. They needed a guy who was fast off the line, who would be able to get around the blocks and blow up the play in the backfield. But anyway, Dee Ford, edge rusher for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's running through the offensive line, right? And he, honestly, if you look at the clips, he's getting blocked pretty well, but there's still a lot of pressure coming through. Tom Brady sees a man downfield, and he goes up to throw the ball. And he throws the ball, he releases the ball. But before he releases the ball, Dee Ford reaches over the offensive lineman who's blocking him and touches Tom Brady on the shoulder. No more than a little rough, just like a little pat. Nothing crazy. Nothing that would ever cause roughing the passer penalty, which is a personal foul, which is over on downs, so you start on the first down again, and you get 15 yards. It was just a little hit. The offensive lineman in front of him got hit harder than Tom Brady did. But wouldn't you know it, the refs threw that yellow tissue, threw that penalty flag, and called him for roughing the passer.
Really upsetting.
It was this call, much like the no call on Robbie Coleman, that changed the tide of the game. And again, the game did go to overtime. Both the championship games went to overtime, which is kind of honestly quite impressive. And the Patriots won. The Patriots won. So here's where the controversy comes. You got 2 blown calls. And there was others, but those I believe are the 2 most significant. Why? Why were these calls blown? And it's one of those things where it's like, maybe there's some veteran quarterback favoritism. I guess that justifies Brady's. But then why was Brees screwed? Why was there blown calls? Well, let me tell you. You look at the betting market in sports. Okay, this is my opinion. The betting market in sports, the LA market is 3 times the size of that of New Orleans. The New England market is 3 times that of the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. It is possible. Is it probable? I don't know. Is it what happened? I don't know. But it is possible that maybe the games were rigged.
Whoa.
Maybe the refs were trying to favor the Pats and the Rams to make them end up in Super Bowl 53 together, to increase ratings and increase betting. Now, is this fact? Is this something that I know for sure? I have no idea. I really don't.
That's an interesting one.
But it's definitely something to think about, right?
Wow.
Because it's possible. It's so possible. But we just don't know. We don't know in today's society. We don't know who's cheating and who's not. We don't know if it's deflate gate, deflate balls. We have no idea.
Yeah.
But that's how the championship weekend squared away. In 2 weeks from the day of this recording, on February 3rd, we got Super Bowl 53 against the LA Rams against the New England Patriots.
Go Rams.
The entire country, except for New England area, wants the Patriots to lose.
Yep.
Except for Louisiana. Because they're bitter. But it's fine. I understand. I 100% understand. So that's a little wrap-up of championship weekend. Moving to the next topic, still sticking with the NFL. We got 2 all-star quarterbacks in this league who shined out this year, looked great. One who was at the top of his game and seemingly the end of his career or near the end of his career, and the other who's young. He's a young blood. He's 23 years old. He's a kid. This is the debate of Drew Brees versus Patrick Mahomes for the NFL MVP. Now, this is something we're going to learn and figure out the day before the Super Bowl, obviously. But I got to make a case for Pat Mahomes. Now, Drew Brees put on a show. He had a great year. They went 13-3. They played fantastic. But Pat Mahomes led the league in passing yards. He had over 5,000. He led the league in touchdown passes. He had 50. It's his second season in the NFL.
That's amazing.
And last year, he played 1 game.
That is outstanding.
I think Pat Mahomes really shined out this year. I really think he's the one who deserves the award. I believe if Brees was going back to the Super Bowl, he would have gotten it, but take a little slurp of water. I think it's Mahomes. I really do. That's where I'm at this one. Moving forward, we got to talk about a little NBA. Now, Jake and I are not basketball fans, but there's been something going on in the NBA that's been absolutely insane.
What is that?
The performance of James Harden from the Houston Rockets.
That he's a madman.
James Harden currently, as of the recording of this on Friday, with his win tonight, adds to his streak of 30-plus points put up a game.
Jeez.
He's put up 30-plus points a game in the last 22 contests. 22 contests. 22 games. In the NBA, 22 games is like a month. He's put up 30 points a game every game for a month.
That's just insane.
I don't know who else deserves MVP. Maybe Giannis. Maybe. Because he's also been amazing. But James Harden has been putting up Hall of Fame numbers. Honestly, these are numbers that are going to throw him into the Hall of Fame. It's baffling to me. I'm shocked and impressed and everything else that comes with that.
That's just James Harden, and just watching a little bit of his game that I was able to today. I was able to see him really just move the court around. And he gets real aggressive in there, and it's almost like the refs let him get away with it more than other players on the court.
He's a physical player. He really is, especially for being a point guard. He's physical. He's dominant. And on those games, I believe it was maybe about a week ago, a couple of games ago, he put up 61 points. But he had next to no assists. So then you got to wonder, and that calls into question, is Harden really that good, or is he just getting dished the ball? Is he just holding the ball for the whole duration of the game?
Well, I think that's what makes him almost good in today's basketball world is we need someone who's physical and able to start drilling through people and getting the ball where it needs to go harder and faster like it used to be.
Sure, yeah, maybe get back to a little street ball, get back to a physical basketball league, because at the moment, basketball and soccer are flop city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you breathed on me, I'm going to do a backflip, and you're going to get called for a personal foul.
Yeah.
These are things to think about.
It's definitely changing the way sports are drawing people in. It's now a lot more and bigger groups of people are interested in sports in today's world than they used to be. Because it's more family friendly, I guess.
Yeah, if you look on the TV here, and this is going to bring us into our next topic, you got to go to, if you're flipping through your channels, flipping through your basic cable package, which is what we have here at Boise State University,
Go Broncos.
you don't see a hockey game. maybe it's Bruins against Canadians. Maybe it's this huge rivalry game and it's a big deal. It's not on TV. And maybe that's just due to the fact of the violent nature of hockey.
I haven't seen it here, but I do watch hockey when I make trips over to my parents. So it's on, I think they have DirecTV, not sponsored.
So we've done some digging through our menus, and we have found that NBCSN, which is Canadian NBC, does carry hockey.
Nice.
So sometimes on Wednesday nights we do get some hockey games, but it's never the big one. It's never, it's never the one you want to watch. It's never your team. You know, we got a guy who lives on the floor. His name's Ryan Havetler. He's from Chicago, Illinois. He's a diehard Blackhawks fan. I don't know why he doesn't follow the Colorado Avalanche, to be honest, but anyway. And he, whenever his games come up, we always feel bad.
Yeah.
We don't get to watch them.
Not at all. But,
It happens.
The Blackhawks.
It
It's
happens.
their problem.
100% happens.
Go Avalanche.
Jake's an Avalanche fan.
I am.
I'm from Seattle, and I don't have allegiances to teams right now because the NHL a few months ago, maybe it was beginning of December actually, announced that for the 32nd team in the league, because there's currently 31 with the Vegas expansion, they're bringing an expansion franchise to Seattle.
Ooh.
So I will be a fan of whatever that team is called, because it does not have a name, and it won't have a name until summer.
Wow. That's exciting for everybody out in Seattle. That is.
Well, Seattle's a hockey market. It really is. We've got minor league teams, most notably, I would say the Thunderbirds, who feed to the Vancouver Canucks, and I believe, and we show out for those events. So I think that's kind of where that's at. But speaking of hockey, since we've been having a little hockey chat, let's bring things local. Idaho Steelheads
Woohoo!
play in Boise, Idaho. They feed to the Dallas Stars. And they're putting up a little bit of show this year. It's minor league hockey. No one really cares about the record, but got some stats for you, Jake. I'm going to run them by you.
Ooh,
They've played 41 games.
Wow.
They've won 26. They've only lost 12. That doesn't add up, right?
No.
They have 3 ties.
Wow. That's a lot of games.
So we're going to just do a little bit of information here. They've scored 141 goals across those 41 games. They've only allowed 108. They have 6 overtime wins, 1 overtime loss. Steelheads are looking good.
Steelheads are looking real good this year.
Steelheads are looking good.
What's going on?
It's always nice to go down to a little minor league hockey rink and see these players, see these guys, because you know what? They're our age. They're that high school to college demographic. These guys are 17 to 22 years old.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get picked up and go play in the pros.
Yeah, really raw. Love watching their games. Stadium's always packed out.
Which is super fun. It's a great time. If you're in the Boise area, I suggest you go.
Definitely.
It's something you don't want to miss. So, last corner of sports here.
Ooh.
We got a lot of sports.
Whole lot of sports. Love sports.
We love sports. Earlier this week, the MLB Hall of Fame inductions got announced. And for those of you in the baseball world who have already heard about this, there's some pretty significant things that have happened. Okay, we're going to start from what I would consider to be least significant and move to most significant. So, Mussina was a closer. He played for the Orioles mainly, but then he moved to a different team towards the end of his career. He played for 18 seasons.
Wow.
He's a closing pitcher. He only played like 40 games a year. He only probably threw 50 innings. He was a 5-time All-Star and 7-time Gold Glove, and he got the Hall of Fame nod in his 6th year of eligibility. So congrats to him.
Dang.
Roy Halladay. Roy Halladay was a fantastic player. Who always put up big numbers on the bats. He was a great guy. Him getting inducted is significant because he died 2 years ago.
Whoa.
He died in a plane crash when he was only 40 years old.
I thought I heard about that.
It's since that happening, and it's very unfortunate because it's a tragic thing.
Yeah, it's tragic.
He's become a household name.
Yeah.
He really has.
Dang.
Moving up to
Congratulations
the third, or second most important, but third on the list of Hall of Fame inductions, we got Edgar Martinez. Now, Edgar Martinez is a more forgotten name, I would say. He played for the Seattle Mariners in the 90s predominantly. And the reason why it's significant he was inducted is he's the first designated hitter to ever be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
That is wild.
Ever. Now, granted, a lot of people would consider him to be the best to ever designated hit. For those of you who live under a rock or don't follow baseball, or only know, yeah, Jake's raising his hand,
Absolutely.
or only know National League rules, the designated hitter is a position that only exists in half the teams in the MLB. Because in the American League, and for those 15 teams, American League pitchers don't like to go to bat. So teams carry an extra player called a designated hitter, where it's his only job to hit bombs.
Wow.
That's all he does.
So he's like a kicker in the NFL.
He's basically a kicker in the NFL.
Kicker is the most important position in the NFL.
A designated hitter can be a make or break position because you expect them to hit well. If your designated hitter isn't batting over 300, then you got problems.
Dang, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, it is. Huge win, though. Huge win for the city of Seattle. We all have considered him to be a phenomenal player. Very overshadowed. A lot of people didn't think he was the real deal. Turns out he is. It's a big win. We're very happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hall of Fame.
And then last, but certainly not least, probably the most significant, purely because of the reputation it sets for the MLB, Mariano Rivera. I do not like this guy,
Oh,
to be honest.
Why don't you like him?
He's a closer for the New York Yankees. I hate the Yankees.
Okay.
I hate the Yankees. I hate the 49ers.
I hate the 49ers.
You know, I hate the Pats. I hate teams. I do. I'm a hateful person when it comes to sports sometimes. But Mariano Rivera is a very respectable closer. He really was. What he did in this Hall of Fame round has never happened before. 450 or around there, people vote for Hall of Fame. They submit their ballots for the people that are eligible, and then they tally up the score, and then the top 4 percentages of people that vote in say, okay, you're in. Mariano Rivera got 100%.
Wow.
Every single person who voted this year voted him in. He's the first unanimous vote ever.
That's ridiculous.
I don't think he'll be the last, but he's the first. And being able to set that precedent is something that's absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, with that, we're going to close out sports. Now we're going to move. We're going to change gears a little bit. We're going to move to something a little more thought-provoking.
Oh,
Jake, I'm going to read you this quote,
okay.
and I want you to tell me your thoughts.
Absolutely.
From the great Johnny Cash.
Good man.
There's a lot of things blamed on me that never happened. But then there's a lot of things I did that I never got caught for.
Wow.
So what does that mean to you? In essence.
As if it was like from my perspective, or like what do I think about him saying that?
All of the above.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna actually take another look at that because that is,
There you are.
that means something.
Sliding the phone over.
A lot of things blamed on me that never happened. But then there's a lot of things that I did that I never got caught for. You know, that almost represents like a yin and a yang.
Sure. Balance.
Yeah. It's like you saying there's peace through what I do, and there's always consequence and result.
I like that. It's a little deeper angle there. Thinking, you know, if you look at it from the surface level, you look at it from the way it's perceived, it's like, oh yeah, okay, Johnny Cash got blamed for a lot of shit, but then there's a lot of shit he did he never got caught for.
Yeah.
But then you got to think about it from that deeper level. I see what you're saying here. Thinking about the balance, thinking about light and dark, thinking about evil, good and evil, thinking about maybe some people like Johnny Cash himself, who considered himself to be a little bit of a dark hero, a little bit of someone who kind of bent the lines of the law so that the good people didn't get hurt.
Yeah. He was, I think that might have been where he was coming from on that.
It's very, very interesting there. And then we got this last quote here, and we're going to finish things up after that. So I'm glad that all of you have been sticking with us through this podcast, this inaugural episode of the Bad News Beers podcast. I am not a product of my circumstances. In fact, I am a product of my decisions.
Absolutely.
100% agree with that.
100% connect with that. Absolutely.
Okay.
That brings out it brings out that level of critical thinking,
Yeah, 100%.
and it brings out that level of fight versus flight almost in your mentality of maybe like instead of being scared and fearful of everything you do and being what the word was a product of the
Circumstances and then a product of your decisions, yeah.
Yeah, the product of your circumstances, instead of saying like, oh, I'm just a product of something, it's I'm making something.
Yeah, it's like putting yourself in the driver's seat, you know. When I read that quote for the first time, I thought of it as saying, essentially, anyone can do what they set their mind to. Doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter where you're at now. If you want to do something, and you have the desire and the drive to do something, you just go fucking do it.
Yeah, it's an open world.
You know, and that's a great message for the people that are in our demographic, the people that are in that like 16 to 25 range, the people that are out there right now. Maybe they're a little confused, maybe they don't really know what's going on in the world, but they do know that if they make their own decisions and they can stand by their own decisions and know that their decisions are taking them on whatever track, poor decisions on a bad track and good decisions on a good track, that they'll be okay. You know, anyone can get out of the shit.
Yeah.
100%.
Just gotta get a big shovel.
Gotta get a big shovel to get out of this shit.
Get out of the shit. And yeah,
So
so
those will be the parting words for us. Jake, you want to take us out?
most definitely. As you guys know, just get out of the shit. If you're in some shit, get out of the shit. That's all we gotta say here. Positivity and downforce, and thank you for listening to Bad News Beers.